What's with Star Wars taking forever to get bombers? The Hyena bomber was made for the Clone Wars TV show because the CIS never got one on the big screen, and the First Order has gone about 4 years now without a bomber variant. Until now. Just dropped October 2nd, a sneak peek into the Star Wars Alliance comic series, which is a part of the journey to Rise of Skywalker. In it, we see a new and very odd insect-like species. Their cities are really cool, hewn from the volcanic glass that made up the planet Ta Nuna. Their leader is narrating, and says that their world was peaceful since the time of the 100-year darkness, the canon version of the split within the Jedi Order that led to the first Sith. In Legends, this was around 7,000 BBY, and led to important characters like Ajunta Pall. The First Order arrives with a fleet of Star Destroyers, and what might be the Supremacy. The problem was that their leader allowed the Resistance to stop by for aid after the events of The Last Jedi. For this, General Hux says they must pay. This insectoid leader protests that even the Empire did not attack this world, but this falls on deaf ears, and the Star Destroyers open up with a very unique weapon. See how this area looks like a hole, instead of the bulging out sphere on a normal ISD? Well, that is where we can see this incredibly powerful weapon firing out of. Interesting enough, there was tons of speculations about what this red energy weapon was in the Episode 9 trailer. I talked about how it might be the newly released Onager, but honestly this makes more sense. Some troopers are deployed, but also at least one squadron of First Order TIE bombers are released for more targeted eliminations. This included the equivalent of a royal palace, killing the leader of this peaceful race. Now of course we don't have any stats, but we can tell some very interesting details just from this image. The all-black paint job is a nice touch, but the wings are definitely what makes it stand out. They're not just reversed bomber wings. The way that they're split and come to these points looks like a larger version of the elite creation that was the TIE Defender. And it's funny that of all the TIE variants in Legends, none of the bombers had these reversed wings. So the closest thing in appearance is the TIE Shuttle. The TIE Shuttle has been fleshed out a lot more in canon, and really was something of a long-standing mystery. We really couldn't make out too much of its details when it was seen briefly in Episode 5. The First Order bomber does drop these blue, glowing bombs just like the TIE bomber, but also like its predecessor, it carried variable munitions, including missiles. That, or they fly squads with some ships containing bombs in this payload section, while others are filled with missiles. So either a specialization, or they can carry both. Also, this antenna and bulked out section could point to them having long-range hyperwave transceivers and a hyperdrive, a terrifying threat for the Resistance and their allies, and would be in line with other First Order TIE variants having hyperdrives. A huge jump from their Imperial predecessors. And just a fun fact for the end of the video, at this point in the trilogy, the Resistance is hiding out on something called the Garbage Planet. Let's hope they get off it before the opening of Episode 9. So what do you think of these two new First Order creations? Do you think this is a new Star Destroyer and is what we see in the trailer, or do you think it was just drawn weird? And what do you think of the First Order bomber? Definitely let me know in the comments down below. And shout out to Josh over on Patreon who told me about this the day it came out. So I'm really glad I could get this out to you guys so quickly. If you ever see something cool you want us to cover, feel free to reach out to us on social media, through the comments, or the email on our About page. If you want to connect with us on social media, find out how you can support our channel without it costing you a thing, or check out our Patreon, be sure to check out the links in the description. Special shout out to our supporters over on Patreon, but most important of all, remember, basing your survival on the kindness of others guarantees your eventual extinction. And the Force will be with you, always.